Hey everybody, welcome back to Ideally Though.
Ideally, though.
I'm your host Erika, and with me is my hubby, my bestie, my butt of his squad.
Yeah. What up out there? How y'all doing?
It is finally Halloween season.
Ooh, spooky season.
So this is a Halloween edition. I think all month it will be a Halloween edition for us.
Do you think they can tell at all? Because this is kind of cool.
I mean, for those who are not watching the pod,
Yeah.
we have some decorations for Halloween.
Watch the pod.
There's a certain vibe that comes along with September 30th, 31st
Yeah.
versus October 1st.
Yeah.
Like people are getting the spirit. I love Halloween.
The stores start. They skip like right past anything when it like it's like it could be August and they start putting in like extra Halloween candy stuffs up and all that shit.
What are you
It's
supposed to do
craziness.
with the candy that early?
That's what they do. They
Is it
just
gonna start?
capitalize on it, man, because everybody knows you. People get excited for this type of season. You know what I
I
mean?
always loved Halloween. I love dressing up.
Okay, I was never a dress up person, but I've always loved the spookiness of it and shit
Yeah.
like that. The horror and
hmm
ghosty ghouls. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's kind of a little bit, even if you probably don't dress up and go out,
Mm.
there's some kind of tradition sometimes with people like watching certain shows, certain movies. Like
Yeah.
we started watching like
Ghost Adventures
yeah,
and
paranormal adventures and all that
uh,
stuff.
what's the one Haunted on Netflix is really good and
Oh
all
yeah, that's
those
good.
things I kind of made you do and now it's like a tradition,
Yeah.
man.
So, I mean, even if you're someone who don't dress up, I feel like if you're stuck in the house, you're probably watching something. You're like, okay, this is what I usually watch
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
during Halloween.
for
So,
sure. I agree. It's when it becomes tradition, it makes it feel like home. It comes with like a warmth, even with the spookiness. You know what I mean? It comes with a
hmm
warmth, time of the season, stuff like that.
fall,
Yeah, I
yeah,
love it.
dressing up.
You
I
look
can't
good.
wait. At the end, we have our little Halloween costumes for the end of the month, but I guess we'll just the last episode of the month we'll wear them. So people who watch us on YouTube, they can kind of see our outfits.
That's gonna be entertaining.
Yeah, but you want to tell the baby girls what we're going to be talking about
All
today?
right, you have compiled a great list of some of your favorite horror movies, just randomly, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Just over time in recent and some old, I believe, but and we're gonna do a little bit of commentary about
Yeah, this is our part two. So if you've been following us this last year, we kind of did a part one, and this year is our part two. I can't believe we have come full circle a year later,
it. Yeah,
and we are doing a part two
isn't that
to
cool?
yeah to our
It's
Halloween
nice.
movies.
It's nice. I love it.
So I did put like all of the my suggestions for Halloween movies into a pumpkin like a
Jack o' lantern thing.
jack o' lantern,
Yeah.
and I'll just pick from it and just
Yeah, well, talk
go
from
over
there.
it. Yeah. These are my suggestions. So screw you if you don't like it. Like, what's good? Catch me how catch me outside. How about that?
I will never let you live down Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet is a good movie,
I'll never let you live that one
but
down.
it don't age really well, and you gotta be somebody who into it. Some people don't. I don't know. They don't like Corey Feldman. I don't know. I
Oh,
don't
it's
know.
hilarious, yo.
Okay, so let me start. I'm gonna pick one, and we're gonna talk about it. Ooh, one of my favorite, Halloween H2O.
Oh shit.
I
Okay.
love Halloween
Okay.
H2O.
If I may, the only thing that I genuinely that I remember made me want to see it was I remember in a trailer that Buster Rhymes does like a spinning kick or something
Busta
on it.
Rhymes is not on Halloween H2O.
Wait, who is it though?
It's LL Cool
LL
J.
Cool J. Isn't there like
Yeah.
a karate kick from somebody in it?
Busta Rhymes does it on Halloween
Ah, see,
Resurrection.
that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no. We're talking about Halloween H2O.
Oh, then that's the one I think of. This one, because LL Cool J's never been a great actor, so I don't remember him as
That's a
often.
lie from the Pits of Hell.
Oh,
But I'm gonna let it pass because it's Halloween.
oh okay.
But one of the best Halloweens is the first one, and then 20 years later when Halloween H2O came out, I was like, okay, finally we coming back with some good stuff.
What makes you such a Michael Myers fan?
I don't know. I think the Final
Or the
Girl,
shape, or
the
whatever.
Scream Queen Final Girl. I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, but that's not Michael Myers.
It's not. It's called Halloween. It's
Right.
not called Michael Myers.
What is it about? Is it just her that makes the movie for you? Is it not him? Because
I don't.
most people would say it would be him, right? Not
He
him.
don't do nothing. I mean, he is stone cold. Like he can walk really slow. Only uses really a knife,
Mm.
and he can get your ass. And he's immortal, low key. and his psychiatrist been chasing like he a detective. Like you don't get paid enough to be trying to follow this man around for
Stressed out
for
constantly
30
looking
years.
eager.
Yeah, stressed out, getting burnt.
Loomis, right?
Yeah, Dr. Loomis getting burnt and shit. But I loved about one thing I loved about Halloween H2O was that okay, we brought back Jamie Lee Curtis. We had not seen her since the second film.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, where Jamie at? She come back. She's a principal at a private school in the hills in California. She has her son played by Josh Hartnett.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they have Michelle Williams on there as well.
Destiny's Child?
No, 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 white girl, Michelle Williams, the one who was married to Heath Ledger. Yeah,
Oh, got it.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And we get to see a black man live until the end. I mean, I hate this. I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but you know, it's Halloween H2O. That shit came out in like 2000. So you 23 years late. But you know, we got to see LL Cool J make it to the end.
I mean, I saw that in Deep Blue Sea, I guess. So,
Yeah, that's
ooh,
true.
I guess another
Maybe
spoiler.
that's in his contract that
Like The
he
Rock,
don't get to die.
like The Rock, and
Or
like
Chuck
Chuck
Norris.
Norris. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I'm gonna be completely real with you. Even as a child, I was into Michael Myers more than I was overall Halloween, just the concept of him.
Okay.
And so the movies got to a point where they weren't scary, and I just didn't care enough to see them. And I think it was after watching Busta Rhymes do that kick in the other movie where I completely pulled away
Yeah, you can't watch Resurrection.
from all of it, where I was like, I don't care anymore. Uh, so this is you're giving me a refresher because I had seen it, but it's not one of those that I'm looking to go watch on like Tubi.
Halloween Show came first, and then Resurrection with Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes.
Mm.
So they did kind of. It was a little when you watched Resurrection, it was like, what the hell?
Goofy in a way,
Yeah, a little
right?
goofy.
It gave me very much another horror movie in that same kind of realm, monster-y flick, right? Uh, Michael Myers being the monster. It gave me the Aliens Resurrection film. Have you ever seen that one?
Mm-mm.
It in the Alien and Aliens movies,
Mm-hmm.
like Ripley is dead, right? She dies. Like that's it.
Okay.
But they bring her back because everybody was coming back around that time when they were making
Okay.
big blockbuster movies, and so like it gave me that vibe for like more just we're gonna milk Michael Myers.
They
His
do that with
I
everything.
hate it.
But you know what? They kind of introduced the reality TV show going to haunted houses. Resurrection gave that. You know,
Mm.
because they started doing those MTV shows where you wear a camera, you go around haunted houses, and that was the theme of Resurrection. But
Now about your H2O,
yeah,
is this part of? Are they succinct in a timeline or
yeah, the
no?
timeline is well. You know what? I they didn't screw the timeline a little bit because, but they don't mention it. You know, if you follow Halloween, she has a daughter
Mm.
on the fourth and fifth one.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden H2O, she got a young son.
Yeah.
So in my mind, what I like to think is that, you know, she did give her daughter up for adoption and the daughter stayed in Hackensack. And then I feel like years later, she was like, okay, I'm going to start my family here, had a son, and decided to kind of go in hiding and protect him. That's
Mm.
how I look at the timeline.
Mm.
If they saying some extra stuff, I'm not going to be following all that extraness. I'm going by what my mind is telling me.
Now I'm gonna give you another question about H2O. Where does it rank in your ranking of the Halloween films because of the fact that you see a black man live at the
Number
end?
two.
Okay.
So the first Halloween, then Halloween H2O, and then I'll give um the second Halloween because it's like a continuance.
Mm.
Yeah, and then the fourth and fifth. You don't count the third one. That shit ain't got nothing to do
Is that
with.
the anthology one?
I guess so.
Mm.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Mm.
But H2 was the best, and we got to have Jamie Lee Curtis' mom, who's the original Scream Queen from Psycho, on H2O. People a lot of don't know that.
That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of people
I
don't
know
know
that.
that her mom was on H2O.
That's
Halloween
cool.
H2O. Yep.
So that's kind of cool to be a part of a lineage of like Scream
She's
queens
a
or
nepo
whatever.
baby. Her dad, her mom were, you know,
I hate
Hollywood
the sass
royalty.
you gave it.
I'm just saying they're Hollywood royalty, so it only made sense. But she really worked her ass off to get where she at, and now she's an Oscar
Oh, word. I mean,
winning actress.
did you see everything everywhere all at once or whatever? She
Yeah,
was fucking awesome in that, wasn't
So
he?
I mean, I don't know. I like to watch, but it's so hard to find Halloween H2O in certain places. I'm not going to buy every subscription.
Mm.
So every time I want to watch it, they have that shit somewhere that I don't have.
Maybe it is one of the hidden gems of that
I
timeline.
love. It's one of the best. That's why they keep it in a place where you have to go and spend some extra money. So hopefully I can watch it this year and not just be steady watching the first, the second, the fourth, and the fifth
Like
one.
you have been for
Yeah,
years,
I stay
yeah,
watching
for
those.
years. Okay.
Okay, let's see. The next one, we talked a lot about H2O. Okay, okay. Tales from the Crypt Demon Night. Hell
Oh God,
yeah.
is this the one with Jada Pinkett?
Jada Pickett, Billy Zane with
Uh,
his sexy ass.
oh
Okay, for people who have not watched Tales from the Crypt Demon Night, it's about a man. It takes you all the way back to when Jesus was on the cross.
God.
And
Oh Lord.
you have these demons who are trying to take over Earth,
Mm-hmm.
but they have to get the blood of Jesus from this, like, I don't know if it's a flask, and there's always some kind of demon knight that is going to be carrying it for years upon years, and they're always running.
Also, it's like a curse, but it's like a gift almost.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're there to save the world, and you're gonna live like longer than you're supposed to until your time is up, and you have to hand off that flask
Right.
to the next
But you
person.
fight demons.
Yeah.
That's a very cool concept.
I watched it for the first time with my son, with Atreyu,
Mm.
and he liked the concept of, okay, this guy's he's in the middle of nowhere. He runs into a hotel, and then there's all these different people from walks of life, and he has to explain to them, hey, if we don't protect this hotel, Earth is going to end.
Mm-hmm.
So he likes because I got him into God and Jesus. He likes, okay, we find demons, we find the devil.
Yeah, it gives me room to want to make him watch Legion,
Yeah.
right?
Well, actually, me and him did watch.
Because that movie's great.
Yeah, we watched some of that too.
They both kind of feel in comparison, don't they?
Yeah,
Actually, that's
they're
kind of cool.
like a new
Protecting the
school.
thing. And,
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool.
and I like personally because one of my favorite actresses is Jada Pinkett Smith. So letting her be the final girl,
Again,
it was amazing. Black, strong black leads.
I respect it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love Tales from the Crypt. So I don't know if you ever used to
Wow.
watch that. Did you used to watch
Really
Tales from the Crypt?
hated it.
Really?
Found it
Why?
so boring.
That's because you're like 80 years old in 1997. Like everything was too childish for you.
Okay, technically it was because I was super into the more adult stuff. It challenged my brain,
Oh
but
my
that
God, there
stuff,
was sex,
it was yeah, but it wasn't like
scariness, and rock and roll.
it didn't scare me.
We used to have the doll. So
Oh no shit.
yeah,
The
so
Crypt Keeper.
yeah,
That's fucking
we
awesome.
had the Crypt Keeper doll, and if you pull it back, it'll make that noise. And sometimes that thing would just go off in my brother's room, and I'd be like, "What the hell with this old nappy head?"
Like the clown from Poltergeist, like wraps its long arms.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me is a hidden gem that some people don't know about Tales from the Crypt
Okay.
Night.
All right, I'll tell you this. The first time I actually did watch that was with you, and that was what so many years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that is a very cool concept, but it also did remind me of Legion, and I was like, that's a really interesting thing to be like, to be chosen as
by
a
God,
thing.
in a sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I've always thought that's pretty cool of a that divine, almost Deus Ex Machina kind of effect has always been interesting to me. It's all types of storytelling, and to watch the final girl be black was actually different. It's 90s we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's the 90s.
They killed us first 30 seconds in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that trope was like cast right out of the movie from the get go. So that was really interesting. I enjoyed watching that with you, and it made me go write other shit. Remember I told you about my later idea about certain things, and so that was kind of like a epicenter of where that idea comes from. So very good movie. I would personally recommend it.
I like it. We get Billy Zane from Titanic.
You said that. Get sexy.
I'm just saying, he was sexy. That's what made me think on Tales from the Crypt Demon Night, he was bald. And, most movies now he's bald. So I'm assuming on Titanic he had a little hairpiece on.
Probably, but they did it right. James Cameron, they gave him some money for the hairpiece.
No, when I look back on it, I'm like, it wouldn't have sustained the salt water. Okay, so that's why he didn't get it wet. But yeah, go watch you guys Tales from the Crypt Demon Night. It usually used
Did
to
it
come
age
on.
well to you?
I feel like yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And usually we could find on Sci-Fi. That's where you would find that movie on Sci-Fi.
Oh yeah, when that was like a decent channel.
Hmm. But now you can find it if anybody has like Peacock. You can find it on Peacock for the month of October.
How do you find these things? That's incredible.
I'm a scary movie whisperer.
Whisperer.
Okay, let's see the next one.
All
I
right.
think I got two on here. Okay, Friday the 13th,
Hmm.
Part 5, A New Beginning. So I had to
Hmm.
get specific on it
Okay.
because I'm gonna be honest. And Catch Me Outside. How about that? Friday the 13th movies suck.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Until you get to the Tommy story, and I actually prefer when he's an adult when they're at that institution
Mm-hmm.
by Camp Crystal Lake. It wasn't good,
Interesting.
and there was no black people really on it. But on I'm listen. I look for people who look like me. I'm sorry. I grew up watching a lot of movies that I love that did
Okay.
not represent me, and then when I find those gems that have somebody that has my same skin tone, I'm like rooting for them. Yes, let's
Look,
watch this.
is the one we're talking about the one I'm thinking about with your boy in it?
It got Miguel Nunez Jr. on it from Joanna Man.
Those damn enchiladas.
Ooh baby, ooh
Ooh
baby,
baby,
hey
ooh
baby.
baby.
Okay, if you haven't seen Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, this takes place at it's like more of like a
Camp, right?
teen,
Isn't
yeah,
it?
it's like a teen institute for troubled teens
Yeah.
by Camp Crystal
Right.
Lake. We have Tommy from Part 4.
Mm-hmm.
He's all messed up as a teenager. Uh, Jason's back as normal, but we get about 3 black people on this one. We ain't seen no black people or nothing. The last black person I saw on Friday the 13th was Kevin Bacon's nose on the first one. That was the last time I saw anything that resembled a black person. So on Part 5, we got Miguel Nunez Jr. He's the one, if you not familiar with him, he played on Joanna Man. He played on a lot of scary stuff,
Yeah.
like
A lot
what
of
was
B
it?
movie
Night of
stuff.
the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of those type of movies. We got if anybody follows like the old '90s sitcoms like Family Matters, the friend to Eddie Winslow Weasel
Mm.
as a child, and I think he was on another show, but yeah, he played on there, and there was a older gentleman that was on there too. Like I was like, whoa, 3 black people, and one of the black people lived. So I love that. I was like, dang, I'll be picking some movies where the black people live. Okay, let's see it.
You always pick movies where if somebody has to live, and
I'm here for it because I
I'm
know.
more of the tragic person. I like it when people.
Well, I'm thinking to myself, I would want to see me live.
Of course, but
So
I don't put myself in the situation. I experience that situation for them, and I'm like, oh,
now, do I think that Friday the 13th Part 5 aged well? I mean, it definitely is retro. You see Miguel,
definitely did not.
he got the Jerry curl, he got the skinny tight leather jeans on. It's very much giving
His
1990 or 1985.
him and his girlfriend sing outside and
Porta potty.
inside of a porta potty
I
together
love
as he is
that.
trying to poo.
My favorite part.
It is the most ridiculous scene in the entire movie. And that's saying something because the whole movie is ridiculous, full of
I
ridiculous
don't know.
scenes.
I haven't even talked to anybody who can tell me like I really love Friday the 13th. If there are people out there, you have to tell me what you really feel like you like
I'm
about
gonna be
Friday the
honest
13th
with you.
movies.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I have a favorite Jason movie though. I have a favorite Jason
A
movie.
Jason movie, huh?
It is that though.
Yeah.
It's not a
It's
Friday
not
the
Friday the
13th
13th.
movie. That's the separation of it all.
Yeah.
Like it is a little bit before the time, but we still grew up knowing that whatever the character of Jason was. I mean, the
Mhm.
hockey mask is kind of iconic, right? But
Yeah.
like, it's got to be a Jason X for me, just because
Yeah.
it's different
Mhm.
and he looked cool from what I was seeing as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Have
But
you ever watched all the Friday the 13th?
I've seen them all. Are they all memorable? Not even
No.
in the fucking slightest.
Oh, man, they're so boring. It's like, okay, we get it. A guy in a hockey mask with a damn
I mean,
machete.
I remember Jason Goes to Hell. I remember like Jason Goes to Manhattan. I
Yeah.
remember like certain
Space.
ones and shit. Yeah,
Space.
he's Jason X. He's in space, but like the rest of them are just kind of farts in the wind in a way.
Well, I mean, I want to represent, Friday the 13th the best of my abilities. But if I'm being completely honest, like Does the movie deserve to be watched on Halloween? Yes, but you have to pick your favorite one. For me, it's part five. Some people like the Manhattan one. Some people like Jason X, Freddy versus Jason, the original Friday the 13th with Mrs. Voorhees being the killer.
That is one of the better ones, to be honest.
Not to me. I was just like, this is has not aged well. This is boring as fuck.
It's a filmography kind of.
Yes, it's like you guys just wanted to show white boys and girls having sex in the woods, titties all over the place. I don't want to see nobody grandma's titties.
There was very much that in the 70s anyway, right?
Yeah, so I was just like, I don't see I don't see what people, I don't get it with Friday the 13th. If there are people out there who are like, I fucking love it, I don't get it.
Yeah, there are definitely people out there. There's not an if.
I don't get it.
There wouldn't be 15 of those movies if there weren't, right?
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I'm gonna move on to Scream. Come on now, Nev Campbell. She just had her birthday. She's giving Libra vibes. I love Scream.
No, I don't.
You don't? Did you like any of the Screams?
None of them.
Why?
Not appealing to me. Okay, I'll be honest. There was a time where like serial killer movies just kind of came up and came out and continued for so long that when Scream came out, even though it was like a kind of like a return for him, I didn't care. Scream just was so non-interesting to me.
I feel like for those teens who grew up in the early 90s or mid 90s, let's say about 97, I think when it came out,
Yeah.
It gave a vibe of like, this could be your boyfriend, this could be a friend,
Yeah.
trying to get into the millennium and just trying to be a new serial killer, and this could happen at a party. I think they were trying to get closer to home with this movie.
Incredibly meta for that, and I respect it for what it is, especially with having like the horror movie rules and things of that nature. Very, very cool idea. However, for me, I was so much more into like, because I want to say around that time like Blair Witch Project came out, and that was so much darker and so much more grittier to me, and it appealed more to me because I was dark.
I guess you get two. Like you get like how you get the perspective of an old man in a child's body, and then you get the perspective of a young child watching a scary movie. Because you're like,
the Blair Witch Project was terrifying.
That was scary as fuck. But I'm saying like, I know when you're like, no, that's not scary because I've been to hell and back.
I've been through Vietnam.
And I'm like, what? Like, you know, I watched the movies as a kid in a kid mind. Like, I ain't been through nothing.
But I watched those things that fucked me up. Like, I couldn't sleep for a few weeks. You know what I mean? That type of shit. But that doesn't take away from Scream because Ghostface is iconic.
Yeah. You know Ghostface is. I actually was Ghostface face for Halloween one year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think like 3rd grade, 4th grade.
Did you have the bloody knife or did you have the
plastic knife? No, I had a bloody knife.
High five.
Yeah, I had a bloody knife. Now, for people who have not watched Scream, this is about a young girl whose mom dies a year prior from, I guess, a man that she was having an affair with. And a year later, there is someone who's calling. What's your favorite scary movie? That was iconic. That's what branded the scary movie genre for the Wayans brothers. So, you know, we got Nev Campbell. She's the final girl. She's fighting off somebody who she doesn't know is trying to kill her and her friends. Come to find out, it is her boyfriend, Billy Loomis. And I always wondered this, and I know you've watched Scream. Dewey don't never die. He always get hit in the wrong artery, and he been paralyzed, nerves all fucked up, and his ass always end up at the end of the damn movie. He always fucked up.
He is the
always fucked up.
He is the epitome of plot armor, and he's supposed to be that character, I believe. Like written purposefully to be that character.
Like he's not really helpful. He's like the young amateur, like sheriff's deputy in a sense.
Very much the levity.
Yeah.
Of it all.
And he just never. When you think that he's going to, you know, maybe really, okay, I've been through this a couple times. He never, I think he always get fucked up at the end, and all you see is him getting carried out, and you thought he died.
You think he would learn his lesson?
Yeah. But I love Scream. Scream was my shit. For those who, when Scream first came out and it was on like HBO or no pay-per-view, my mom would order it, and you get it for 24 hours, and we would record it on a VHS. We record on VHS and we watched it all day.
All those old man jokes, and you sound incredibly old with that.
Do you remember pay per view and how we used to get the order and you get it for 24 hours?
Oh man, that's so
Yes.
funny.
Okay, well, let's see what the next one is. This one is a little bit of a newer one, Barbarian.
Okay.
This is just a crazy case of needing to check your surroundings, check what kind of house you're going to when you're renting an Airbnb.
Hmm.
That's really what the basis of this movie is about. We
Mhm.
get a young girl who comes to Chicago for a job interview, and like a lot of us, we might want to, instead of a hotel, we want to get an Airbnb, and sometimes you double book the Airbnb so you have somebody else in there, and you find out that, oh shit, I'm in the most fucked up part of town.
Yeah, it's got a lot of other undertones. I
Oh
want to
man,
say
so
too.
many plot twists.
A lot of plot twists, a lot of
Hmm.
different undertones because I think it speaks to a lot of like gentrification and like neglect
Yeah,
and what can be hidden in the shadows.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Painted up real nice, but then also hidden in the shadows in plain sight. It was very compelling watching the trailer when I first saw it a few like about a year or so ago, and thinking to myself like, hey, this one is interesting, and it also has a, as you say, black character in it who's lead.
Yes.
I was
She's a
like, that
black
was
character.
compelling to me. And she's lead, so maybe she won't die. That was like one of my first thoughts. And going into it, it, as you mentioned, it takes such a weird plot
Turn.
turn,
Hmm.
but it's so good. It's not a bad weird, you
So
know?
when did we watch this? At the beginning of the year. We watched this.
Maybe?
It's on HBO Max again. It's called Barbarian,
Yeah.
and we watched it one randomly at night. And my mouth dropped open because you thought you knew or you were suspicious about stuff, and it's one of the better movies I've seen. I haven't seen anything like this in a long
A
time.
lot of circumvention, so it
Oh
keeps you guessing.
man,
A lot of
it does.
circumvention, a lot of details, and I think that's what really pulled me into it because I was a sucker for that type of stuff,
I had
attention to
not seen
detail.
something like that in years, and I was like, finally, we're getting back to the roots of some good horror movies and suspense.
Yeah, it had similar types of plot twists in them that made me reminisce about my first time watching a Haunting in Hill House.
Okay.
It made me reminisce on
Hmm.
like the shock and surprise and the like, oh, that was
Yeah.
not what I expected, and I like that.
Yeah.
That's true fear. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It made me creeped out, and Barbarian did that for me a tad bit because of how weird of a turn it does take, and
Hmm.
it's really really good. Great suggestion. I like
Yeah.
that one a lot.
The main character, she's actually a British actress. She
Hmm,
was on Black Mirror.
they're kicking ass, aren't they?
Yeah. And I think her co-star was he's that white guy who was the main character on the first Jeepers Creepers.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you haven't seen it, you can find it on HBO Max. It is called Barbarian.
Yeah, I recommend that one for sure.
Okay, this is old school. Tales from the Hood. Tales from the Hood.
Hmm.
Did you ever watch that as a child? You
No.
never watched Tales from the Hood? Was
I've
it too
watched
gangster
them,
for
but I
you?
didn't like actively go out and search for them. I've seen them in passing.
Oh, there's multiple, right? I think there's like three. But
Yeah.
listen, I don't watch those new school ones. I've only watched the first one that came out in the early 90s.
Still doesn't matter.
I thought it was great. We have Clarence Williams III on there.
Yeah.
And it's about three gangsters. They go to a mortuary, and they're supposed to. This guy's supposed to be giving them drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes them around the mortuary and tells them stories about the dead people in the building.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it because it also shined light on like things that were going on at that time,
Yeah.
like prejudice, racist politics, politicians.
Oh, now you mean?
Well, always, but it was I liked it. They had a lot of good like um stories
Mm-hmm.
and things you can kind of take back from it, and they would show things of like back in the day where you see the black people getting hung and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the undertone of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was scary as shit growing up, and my uncle had the soundtrack to Tales from the Hood, and that was how my mom would get my brother to be good. She would actually tell my uncle to play.
That's so fucked up,
It
bro.
was fucked up, right? You're fucking with someone's like fuck with their mind.
Oh
But
man,
that was my uncle had the soundtrack and I loved the movie. It was scary growing up. I was like, this shit is fucking scary and I ain't trying to go to hell.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so if you haven't seen it, watch it because at the end there is a little bit of a twist at the end,
Mm,
so I liked it and I watched it with Atreyu and it goes back to the whole God and being good
of
and
course.
what can happen after you die,
Mm-hmm.
so he was like, oh no, you got to be a good person or you going to hell,
Yeah.
so if you haven't watched it, it's Tales from the Hood. I think they have that also on Peacock right now for the month of October.
Why?
I
Put
think Peacock is trying to get,
you could
they're
put Ghost
just
Adventures on there and have way better. I'm just kidding. It's your
Ghost Adventures. I think is on HBO Max.
uh,
Okay, this is one that I love. This I think came out when I was in fourth grade, fifth grade.
okay.
The Faculty. Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett, Usher,
Okay. Um,
Usher.
in my opinion, it's a pretty decent creature feature.
They had everybody. They had Jon Stewart on it.
Yeah.
Danny Masterson's old creepy ass.
Pretty. Right. Speaking of the devil, huh? Yeah. It was a very interesting creature feature. I liked the
It's
the monsters in it, and I think it's a very cool idea to have a kind of pseudo like alien invasion happen in
yeah, it
like
was
a
like
high school.
it was a new age like invasion of body snatchers.
It took a real cool like idea and put it in something that was way more modernized for like the 90s and what
I
it was,
loved
right?
it.
So like high school shit happening and like,
Hmm.
hey, you got kids, how would you kids deal with it and shit like that? Like you kind of like your first Stranger Things, if you will.
Yeah, and it's like bringing all these different types of people together. You got the nerd, you got the jock, you got the preppy girl, you got the emo girl,
Yeah.
bringing them together and fighting
Some
aliens.
classic archetypes,
Yeah, I
honestly. Yeah.
loved it. I was like, y'all make me want to be in the high school in the '90s, but not really.
It was interesting with the type of alien and its weakness because it was some type of chemical, right? I can't remember exactly what
It
it
was just like
was.
dry you out, so
Yeah,
you had to drink a lot
it was
of
like a
water.
drug or some shit, right?
Well, they were just taking. I think he took Josh Hartnett's character. He was this undercover nerd, and he took like
Chemistry
cleaning
nerd at that.
supplies, and
Chemistry
yeah, he
nerd.
was able to dry out the aliens. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, very cool. I know they had to drink water or whatever
yeah,
constantly and
just to
be
not dry
around
out.
water and shit
Hmm.
constantly, and that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, I liked how personality changes were very apparent in the movie, and
Yes.
how they acted duality wise. You could tell the significant difference from when somebody was not infected and when they were.
Yep.
Gave me very
Absolutely.
much the Thing vibes. I'm a
Hmm.
huge fan of the
Yeah, the
Thing.
thing.
Um, Practical effects are always awesome, so that movie is grade A to me. So it fits in that same realm. That's a decent choice, I'd
Yeah.
say. Falcon is a great choice.
Um, when I was in elementary and the movie first came out, they were like redoing our elementary school, and then I saw a tag that said the faculty, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have to save the world
Oh
because they
god,
got some aliens.
kids are stupid, bro.
I thought we was about to save the world. We was making our plans. What I'm saying? The only thing we didn't have was a car. So we couldn't get around. But we was making up our plans during the lunchtime
Oh
about how we was gonna make sure the teachers were gonna
dear
take over our bodies.
God, that's funny. That's pretty funny.
I don't feel like the movie aged really well, but
Really?
not really the way if you I don't know, it doesn't really look
It doesn't look good.
aesthetically, yeah.
Okay, aesthetically. Okay.
Aesthetically it
Okay.
doesn't really look that well.
Okay.
But my favorite quote from that movie was from Elijah Wood. He was like, if you were going to take over the world, would you do it Independence Day style or come through the back door? Meaning the middle of Ohio, in the middle of nowhere.
Nobody cares.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was my favorite part.
That's always key.
I love the faculty. That was one of my favorites. I'll watch it, and it doesn't have to be Halloween. It's not really considered a Halloween movie, but I mean,
It's a scary movie.
yeah, scary movie.
Who cares? As long as it's scary or it's horror, who
Yeah.
cares? Watch it.
Okay. Chucky, Child's Play, Child's Play, 1 through 3. I'm only can give you those. I can only give you those. Now I know you because you was 80 years old in 1989 and you in 1988 and you wasn't really.
Howard Doll's creepy.
Listen, it wasn't about the doll being creepy. Because let me tell you something about Chucky. Chucky gave a little racist to me. Chucky gave a little. He was an asshole. He knew voodoo. Yeah, um, he he wasn't scary to me,
Uh huh.
Well, low key he was because as a child you're like he's almost half my size, so he might could overpower me. As an adult, you're looking at Chucky like, what the fuck
I
is
kick
this?
the shit out of
Right.
Chucky. Yeah.
But when you're a kid, you're like, this motherfucker is kind of scary. He could take over my body by saying "Ade Due de Milla."
Oh my god, you know the fucking chant, bro.
Give me the power, I beg of you. I
Oh
listen. The first three Child's Play were the best.
no. Oh
We
wow.
got Andy and all three of them. The actor did change on the third one because he was supposed to be a teenager. But we have this man who's a serial killer. He gets chased down by a police officer. He knows voodoo from this voodoo priestess he knew, and he transferred his body into a good guy doll. From there, he is creating chaos for fucking how many years? 36 years this fool has been creating chaos. 35 years.
Yeah.
They even now have a TV series that you can catch on Sci-Fi, USA, and Peacock.
Now my turn. Because I only like those.
Oh, okay. So you like the actual, like, okay, the movie wise, do you like the how they do like Chucky? Was like the cult one or the newer ones, or you
Okay,
just like the
so
series?
the series I love.
Okay.
Those movies prior to the series where they intertwine
Hmm.
are okay to me. They're
Okay.
okay. Uh I mean, I get where they stand as far as the series go. They enrich the series even more so that's one reason why I do like them, so by
Hmm.
proxy. But the original Child's Play films,
Is it because he's a doll and you're like dolls
I
shouldn't be
was
able to?
detracted. I was
That
detracted
makes
from that,
sense.
yeah.
But I think it was more so supposed to scare more of a kid because if you're thinking about a kid and a doll, maybe they could overpower you. But
Mm-hmm.
as you grew up, you like, yeah, I would kick the shit out of Charles Lee Ray.
Mm-hmm.
But um, it's a classic. It is a classic. He be cussing a
I get
lot,
his respects. It's funny as
calling them
fuck too.
little shits. Yeah,
Funny as fuck too.
yeah. He was a serial killer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I loved it. But honestly, after I like the first three because I always like to quote certain things from the movies. But I did not mind Bride of Chucky. After that, it got too comical. And I was like, okay, this is the route you guys are trying to take more. We already knew he was kind of funny and stuff like that,
Right.
but it just got extra overly
Mm.
like let's be a little bit more funny. And I was like, yeah, I'm not here for it. So when they brought the Red Man and Method
I
Man
agree.
into it, I was like,
I agree. It lost its way, but it also was around that same time as you mentioned. Scream earlier is around the same time Scary Movie was like big, right? And you have to
mm-hmm,
compete with Scary Movie, so you got to be kind of as obnoxious as those were.
mm-hmm.
And truth be told, that kind of killed Scream for me. Also, is the parody of it was so ridiculous
Yeah,
that it made Ghostface lose its luster
I
in a
understand that.
way. The comeback is pretty awesome for him. So
Yeah,
I'm appreciating it for what it is now. And now Chucky's pretty fucking awesome.
yeah, he kicks ass.
Yeah. Good choice.
Okay.
Good choice.
So my last and final one. This is a newer one that we watched a couple years ago, and then I've been watching it recently. This is The Visit. It came out in 2015. So let me just give a little backstory of The Visit for those who have not watched The Visit.
Please do.
So we have two kids around the age of what 13 and 15, it seems like that, and their mom is estranged from their
Her parents.
her parents. They reach out and they want to meet the kids,
Grandkids, yeah.
and so they take a train by themselves. They go meet their grandparents, and they find out that their grandparents is crazy as shit. A lot of sundowning,
Yes.
a lot of
The form of dementia, if you don't know.
yeah, a lot of the crazy stuff that happens at night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we got Becca and then her little brother T Diamond Styles. He be rapping in the movie. M. Night Shyamalan, this is his movie. You probably want to give a little, little flavor to the movie. I really liked it.
Yeah.
So you kind of throughout the movie figure out that shit is not right. These people are old and it's time to get out.
I would like to say the pacing on it is very good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not a fan of a lot of M Night's pacing in a lot of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's really hit or miss with pacing in a lot of ways for
That's
me.
true.
This was perfectly paced because the ramping up of the crazy
Yeah, with the parent, the
because
grandparents.
again, as you said, they're staying for the grandparents for about a week, right? It's about
Yeah, it's a week. Yeah.
5 days or whatever to the weekend or something like
Hmm.
that. So, with that being said, each day it is getting
It just
progressively worse.
escalates and escalates.
But from day one, you can already tell something is off,
Something is
and
off
it's so good and it's so
with
key.
grandma and pop pop.
Yeah, grams, pop pops. Look, I remember watching it for the very first time with you, and you having that real real true fear and understanding of how you don't like dementia. Like it's
I,
scary to
I
you.
have a problem with that. Older people scare me when at a certain age. Um, and to think that I would have to stay a week at a grandparents' house that I never met, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, you know, their personalities. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what they like and don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And you think it's all fun and games, and then they're like, "Oh, stay in your room after 9:30. Don't leave out the room." And then all you hear is banging and
Door
naked,
closes.
old naked people and dirty diapers and just some crazy shit.
Yeah.
It makes you think like I will fuck my grandparents up.
It's definitely one of those where you want to go in. Oh, I would say almost as blind as possible. I
Yeah.
mean, there's not enough that we've given here that's going to ruin anything. But it is definitely worth it just because of how crazy it gets. Um, it's one of those ones where because I was one of those fans of M Night before the happening,
Hmm.
and then the happening happened,
And I
and
was here for it. I like that happening.
movie was, but
It scared the hell out of me. I was like, Trees are gonna kill us.
wait, didn't you have like some sort of windy day?
Yeah, and I was like, man, I had watched it, and I was driving home from a friend's house, and it was windy. I said, man, we gonna die today.
You finna go straight through the windshield like
I
John
was like,
Leguizamo did.
oh my god. But that's neither here nor there. But
Uh, I when the happening happened, I lost faith. I was just like, this dude's trash. Like I can't. I don't like any of his stuff at this point in time. He can't redeem himself.
he did.
And well, he also did the Avatar movie,
Okay.
which then also hurt me too. So I had no faith. This was the movie that made me go, this guy's again onto something. And I mean, shortly after that, he later did Old, which was
Yeah, that was good too.
fantastic.
If you, again, for me, I have a fear. I can't really. I don't want to touch nobody. If you tell me to stay in the room at 9:30, like sundowning scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting how to watch you react to the sundowning
Yeah,
stuff.
like and I've seen things on YouTube with people, and there's stories about people with visiting or coming back home to take care of their parents that have dementia, and they have to deal with the sundowning at night, and that's just scary as fuck. And it just made me think like if I was a kid with me and my brother, or when we were watching with our kids, it's like what
Would
would
they
y'all
make
do?
it? Would they
Yeah, would
make
y'all
it?
make
Yeah,
it? I know for sure I would have made it.
I would have made it.
I would have fucked my grandparents up.
Oh yeah.
Sit down, pop
Oh, the
pop.
pop. Well, yes, I would have put pop down.
Yeah.
Pop. Gotta sit down. Gotta sit down.
So if you guys haven't watched it, again, it's called The Visit. You can find The Visit on, I believe it's Hulu. Um, if not Hulu, maybe Peacock, because
Check
Peacock.
Amazon. It'll show you anything.
Yeah. So, do you have any last words of wisdom or anything you want to add to our scary movie list suggestions?
Way better list than Silver Bullet.
Fuck you. I give all the good suggestions. Okay,
No,
watch all my movies.
I'm definitely proud of this list. Really, 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 really good. I think throughout this month, I'll drop a few suggestions on you to see what you think, and to the fans. So we can give out some more because I have some good ones in mind that now that we've talked about it, and you aced me on this one. To finish on the visit,
Yeah.
high five.
Yeah. And I like to give stuff that I watched all my childhood. So this is, I got some new ones, but a lot of my stuff is like older school, old
Demon
school
Knight
ones
is
because
I
I love all my movies. I stay with the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys remember we drop our new episodes every Friday audio wise on all streaming platforms wherever you listen to your podcast. And we are on now YouTube.
Yeah.
Been like a little bit over a month.
Congrats.
Please like, subscribe, hit the bell. We're there every Sunday. And we'll be back next week to give you something new with Halloween. Bye.
Yeah.